Go Chundria, Chundria, it's Chundria Show.
Get to know Dr. Kendra Segura, an amazing gynecologist with an affinity for women's health, a vibrant new mom, and reality star on Bravo TV's Married to Medicine, Los Angeles. Dr. Kendra Segura, I am excited to feature you on the Chundria Show. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Did I pronounce your name correctly?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. All right. So as star of Bravo TV's hit show, Married to Medicine, Los Angeles, what will fans worldwide learn about you this season?
People will learn that, doctors, are human. We transition the same way anybody else does. And that, my life is probably a little hectic. So hopefully people will just get to know more about me and my family and just, see what a day in life is with Dr. Kendra,
Oh, that's exciting. We were talking about mommy life, how has life been as an amazing new mommy to your adorable son, Hart? What strides is he making these days? You were just telling me he's crawling around everywhere.
Exactly. So he turned the big one. So we did a social distancing party.
And how did that work out? How'd you do that?
You know what? Just by taking great pictures, having my immediate family, because this COVID pandemic, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. So it's like, okay, I had to make a decision, do I still have a party? What do I do? And so I thought, what? I'm making his, 1-year-old photo album and let's celebrate like we're having a big birthday party, but just with my immediate family. So we still had a good time. And it's just me getting used to having a child, like just still kind of rearranging my brain, to say, hey, Kendra, everything that you do with work, even with, who's going to watch him, while I'm here with you, just believe it or not, I'm still getting used to making those mommy adjustments. Okay. It's a process and it's an amazing adjustment, but it is, a huge adjustment. I think because, I had a baby later in life, I'm 40 years old. And so I've been, living this long, having just to worry about myself, and my husband's very competent. So I'm blessed with that, that he can take care of himself. So it's a huge adjustment.
Huge adjustment. And look at you, you're from my view, you look like you're handling it pretty gracefully. So,
and I attribute that to my village. I've learned that having a child does take a village. So I'm depending on, my friends, my family, and it's teaching me to ask for help. That's the biggest thing, that I've learned is that, when you're a new mom, you're busy, I'm depending on my village. So it's important to surround yourself with people that believe in you, people you can trust. And so it does take a village, to raise a child. So my hat is off to everybody who's been doing it since the, time. And so that's one thing that I did learn. Right.
Shout out to you.
Exactly.
Fans of the show know you were very eager to get back to work. As a wife, a mother, and medical doctor, what has been your personal secret to juggling life and responsibilities? I know you said you have your village. I know you said it's been a struggle to kind of mentally adjust, but for yourself, how do you mentally prepare to go day to day by yourself as a wife, as a medical doctor, to now, having the baby? What mental process did you have to take yourself through?
You know what? I am, I believe in Jesus Christ. I am a believer, and I wouldn't be where I'm at today, without the blood of Christ. And literally, you need a supportive husband. My husband is amazing, and so, even though we don't see eye to eye all the time, at the same time, eventually, we get it. Eventually he understands where I'm coming from, even if it might take a moment. And that was a big ordeal with me and him, because we talked about what we would do, before Hart was here, which was, the plans that couples make, right? And I felt that I made those plans with him not working, for at least 6 months. That was before I had any experience. Just, making plans before you actually have a child. And then when you do, reality check. The reality is that I do need to get back to myself and get back to my routine as much as I can. And so that was what me and Hobart were kind of, butting heads against. But it's because of him, I am able to get back to work and juggle it all. You need a good mate. And that's why my hat is off to single mothers who do it all by themselves. I mean, wow.
Wow, is right. Now, I learned some very interesting things about you in doing my research. So prior to starting a career in medicine, you were a star tennis player with features in the LA Times. Oh my God. What are some of your proudest achievements as a young athlete?
One of my proudest achievements is, being ranked top 10 in Southern California. I was ranked, probably the highest, number 5 in Southern California as a junior, so competing and playing college tennis, and tennis was my first love. And so tennis is life in a sense where it just taught me discipline, so I've always, been that person, that child, I guess, that's always was training, so I would go to school, I would train in the morning before school and after. So it taught me discipline. It taught me to be able to withstand things that I don't like to get to what I do like. And I attribute that to my parents. Again, tennis is a very expensive sport. And it's not like, the other team sports where you just drop your kid off at the track or the basketball court and pick them up later. Tennis involved parents. And so I really, thank my parents for sacrificing time and money to take me and my sister around at different tournaments and stuff. So that stays with me. And I apply that to everything that I do now.
Wow, I love how you applied, those early examples of discipline, and you obviously use that to further your career now. What or who inspired you to become a doctor?
I think that my inspiration came little by little. So it wasn't anything that hit me. Like a lot of my colleagues, they've always wanted to be doctors. Usually when you meet a doctor, they knew early on, when their parents got them a stethoscope, a fake one for Christmas or something, or they dressed up as a doctor for Halloween. But I think with me, it was just a slow calling, or maybe I was running from my calling. I personally had a lot of GYN health issues, being diagnosed with endometriosis age 19, not knowing what that word meant. I never forget when I got the diagnosis, my mother asked the doctor, is that cancer? Does she have cancer? We had no idea what these big words were. I had painful periods all my life, didn't know that was bad. I didn't know that having painful periods is bad. I thought that was normal. Like, this is the price we have to pay because Eve bit the apple. That's what I'm thinking menstrual cramps were like. But so, going through my own experience and then working around physicians. So I worked for the Los Angeles Health Department for about 2 years, and I was working with doctors. Doctors will consult with me because I was an epidemiologist. And so I think my exposure to being around physicians, because I didn't know any doctors, I didn't know any nurses, I didn't know anybody in the healthcare field. So I think that my exposure, my personal experience, it kind of led me there. That, I wanted to do more and to help in a different way.
I love that you take it back to your own experience. I mean, you're so transparent in that, but for you to be 19 to not understand, what's going on with the body, I love that you chose that specific specialty in order to encourage and assist other women with changes to their body. So kudos to you, for giving back in such a way. I'm excited about everything that you've got going on, my dear. Congratulations on motherhood. Congratulations on a successful medical career. And I wish you nothing but the very best. Thank you for being on the show today. How can we catch you on this season of Bravo TV's Married to Medicine LA?
So I'm sure reruns will be airing on Bravo TV, 6 p.m. Pacific and 9 p.m. Eastern. And so, I just hope people watch and tune in. And it's just like the fact that I never knew anybody that was a doctor or in the healthcare field. I joined the show to help normalize, women of color in medicine. Kendra, she can do it, I can do it too. So tune in and thank you for having me.
So inspirational. Thank you so much, and you take care, okay?
Thank you, Chundria. Appreciate you.
Bye.
Have a great day. Okay, bye-bye.
Get to know Dominique Daigle as she and I discuss her new Discreezips app, her growing book series, and her amazing life since starring on E! Network's Wags LA.
How are you today? Thanks for your time.
No problem. I'm doing great. Just getting up and trying to hurry up and get ready for my day.
Okay, baby's okay?
It's every day.
Okay. Growing up fast.
Okay. I need that break every now and then. Let me
I understand. All right, my dear. We'll go ahead and dive right on in. I appreciate your time today.
problem.
Your last name, is it Daigle? Is that how you pronounce it?
Say it one more time.
Your last name, how do you pronounce it?
It's Daigle.
Daigle, okay. All right, well, Dominique Daigle, I am so excited to invite you to the Chundria Show. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
How are you? You feel good? Feel great handling quarantine?
Girl, let me tell you, quarantine has been like very interesting, I would say, to say the least. I think that everybody kind of has their moments of like, what the hell is going on in this world? You know what I'm saying? From coronavirus to the Black Lives Matter, of course, supporting my people, to, just listening to the things that this president, I don't even want to call him a president, to this man is saying on, TV, it can get to you sometimes. So I'm glad that I've been able to stay, focused for sure.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that too. All right, well, let's dive on in, my dear. We've watched you star on season 3 of the reality show Wags LA on the E! Network. As you continue to thrive and glow up, what's your personal secret to balancing life as an amazing mompreneur, author, and philanthropist?
I think the key, and it sounds so cliche, I'll say, but really the drive behind all of that is my children. You know what I'm saying? And I have a great support team like my mother, and a lot of people unfortunately can't have, don't have their parents, they're not able to, just keep it real, for the cleaning lady to kind of help you balance out all that you have to do in life. And I think that people think that it's super easy, especially when social media makes everything look perfect. You know what I'm saying? And it's not as easy as it seems. So I'm just grateful to be able to have that drive and willpower, and my mother and my sister to definitely help me navigate while I'm trying to climb this ladder for sure.
Support system is so important, and I'm glad
it takes a village. Thank you.
To surround you and help you and just be there to help you.
Absolutely.
All right, you launched the Discreezips app. Is that what it's pronounced? Discreezips?
Yes.
And I read that it tracks mental health, menstrual cycle, ovulation, and pregnancy. Please tell me what's your inspiration for creating the app?
So, as you know, I have 3 beautiful babies, and years back, apps weren't a thing. They're now, technology now is the thing, but like around 2000, I'll say like 10, nobody was really checking for apps. And I was, at the time, I was with someone and I was like, man, I wish you would be able to track what I'm going through so I don't feel like I have to wake him up out his nap, or if he's asleep and I'm up, or if I'm up and he's asleep, maybe he could just look in and see what I'm going through, you know what I'm saying? Or how many kicks the baby had, or how much water intake I had. So I was hoping to eventually down the line create something like that to bring families close together. And then last year I got presented the opportunity to actually, make it come to fruition. So I said, why not? I went ahead and developed it. It took me a good 9 months to create this app. And I recently have pulled back just a little bit because we're doing major updates. I launched it with a company in India. So now that we're going to start housing it in Dallas, Texas, I was like, thank God I don't have to wait until 12 at midnight to talk to someone if something isn't working. You know, that's a lot of wear and tear, you know, on your body and just, you know, your mental health. So I was just like, I'm glad that I'm able to do this now.
Why'd you choose the name?
So initially we have a product that's coming out with Discreezips, but we decided to launch the app first. We're creating a biodegradable Ziploc baggies to store your pads or tampons in. So for example, you know, you go to a party and it's maybe like one bathroom that you can use. Every woman has been there, right? And there's no trash can. What do you do as a woman? You unfortunately have to wrap that pad or tampon in some paper towel or toilet paper and stuff it at the bottom of your purse until you get to where you need to go to dispose of it. So if you're able to, you know, if you're able to be in those situations, why not just have a little nice discreet bag that you can put it in that's biodegradable, you know, odorless, and that'll help you travel to the next destination. And I think it's so important, especially with kids, you know, cheerleaders, you know, just places where you'll have a lot of groups of people, dorms, things like that, where you will find that this type of product is necessary. So we've been testing, you know, certain things, but unfortunately due to COVID, you know, factories have shut down and warehouses have to shut down. So, you know, I'm glad that I was able to launch the app first because it's kind of like technology. We can do it, you know, at home or whatever we need to do. So eventually we'll have our product line coming out. So that's how we developed the brand.
So the app is out now. When do you think the products will be out? Do you have a date for that, or just you're like, let's just focus on the app right now?
I don't have a date. I will say next year for sure. Okay. Again, people are scared coming back up from COVID. Then next thing you know, we might be shut down again. I know California's shut down again. So I just wish I can have some type of number, but during this pandemic, I gotta roll with that shit.
I understand. You don't even want to put that out there until you know.
Yeah, because, you know, if something happens, it's kind of like, oh, well, I developed COVID working for Discreezips. Wait, what?
Well, I'm excited about this new app. I mean, it's pretty good, in my opinion, to be able to track so many different things. I know that menstrual cycle apps are very popular, but for you to include so many different things that are important to women in one app, I think is pretty brilliant. So congrats.
Thank you so much. And you know, I will say this, a lot of apps don't have where there's things like created towards that group of people. Hypothetically speaking, if I have a teenage daughter, which I don't, but if I have a teenage daughter and she's learning how to track her period for the first time and she's 13, I don't want her logging into another app and she's looking at insights about how to please your man and sexual positions and things that might be, you know, interest to our age group, but maybe not so much her age group. So I think that, you know, developing something that has insights just for those different age groups are so important too, you know, and, you know, I would say, oh my God, I'm losing my train of thought. Menstruals with, you know, some women don't have periods. Some people, you know, it's a long time to ovulate or they can't ovulate, you know, pregnancy and things like that. We offer all those things in the app. So that's what kind of also makes us different.
I like it. I like that it's set apart from other feminine apps. You also have Discreet Men. Tell me about that.
Girl, listen, I'm trying to get more.
You are covering everything.
Well, because, you know, people forget that there's so many single fathers out there that have daughters, or, you know, men that are in tune with their significant others, whether you're married or whatever, or maybe it's male and female, whatever. People forget about the men when it comes to the women in these things. I've talked to a few single fathers and they're like, I don't know, Dominique, what to do. My daughter's having a period. Like, how do I talk to her? Like, you know, how do I know? Is it every 7 days? Is it every 28 days? Like, I don't know, you know, and sometimes it's uncomfortable for these girls to talk to their dad about, you know, having a period once a month. So this will kind of like bridge that gap and say, hey, honey, I'm with you. And if your daughter is at school or at work and she's logging in all those symptoms, guess what? Daddy can see it. So maybe daddy needs to go and get more pads and tampons, or maybe daddy needs to possibly get her some medicine when she comes home from school, or, you know, some chocolate to kind of help her out. You know, who knows? So we're just, again, bridging that gap and bringing the communities together for sure.
So it's an initiative that educates fathers. And
Absolutely.
daughters of the young women in their lives.
Absolutely. And, you know, if you have a surrogate, for example, you know, we have men that have surrogates, whether it's male and male or male and female, you might want to track that surrogate instead of bothering her every 5 minutes, like, hey, did you throw the baby cake? Hey, is the baby a seed yet? Or is it a cantaloupe yet? You know, just certain things that you just don't want to bother the other person every 5 minutes. As long as she is tracking it in the app, you can see that. And you guys can communicate through our message center in there. So it's kind of pretty dope.
It is dope. So how do you get the app? How much does the app cost? And what's the feedback been so far?
I couldn't hear the first part.
I said, how do you get the app and how much does it cost?
Sure. You can download the app on Apple or on Google Play, Android or Apple phone. And it's about $3.99 for now.
Okay. And then what feedback have you gotten thus far for it?
I got positive and negative feedback, and I know it sounds crazy, but I love the negative feedback because I like to know what are we doing wrong, and that's why we're doing so many updates and things like that. When I initially launched the app, pre-launch, I think some of my followers started to see, like, through other people, that I was having an intimate, like, family launch party just for them. And they thought it was for the people, and they ended up downloading the app before it was really ready. And that was an error on my technical side. So they were actually downloading it before the August launch. And I'm like, oh my God, no. It's not ready for you guys. It's just like a layer just so they can see what's going on. But just really, you know, seeing what those comments are and fixing the problem. And I think in business, people don't, especially in customer service, they never fix the problem. And I just want to make sure that I'm able to fix the problem. So I actually love the negative feedback of maybe it glitches, or they're unable to go into another portal, or maybe they just don't understand. So I'm glad we're here to help them.
I think I'm really excited about how hands-on you are with the entire process. It wasn't like an idea you created and you just kind of passed it off like, hey, make it come to life. And
oh no, I'm very
when it's done, you know, you're very involved, and I love that so much. So congrats.
Thank you. You know, it's my baby, so it's just like I have to be hands-on, and I don't think I can really create anything that I'm not hands-on about. And I think that, you know, I take full ownership. If something isn't working, I'm sorry, we'll be right back with you. And I'm literally like, it's just me and my sister, you know, that are really powwowing, making this happen. Like, I don't have a million employees, or, you know, to go and say, hey, fix this, you know, especially
all the hats, and you're
my sister and I, we are definitely trading off the hats.
Shout out to sister for standing.
Thank you.
Now, outside looking in, to me, you maneuver serial entrepreneurship like a true boss. Tell me about your children's book series, The Many Adventures of Donald.
Oh, wow. That book series was created, I want to say, in 2013. My son, you know, I really couldn't find any books that we could relate to at the time. And I was like, you know what? I make little nursery rhymes and things. I know it sounds crazy, but I do. I'm very animated at home. And I was just like, let me put this into something that we can all learn from. And it's crazy because when I did my face, which was the very first book that I created, you know, I'm a Black woman. Let me just say that for the record. But sometimes when you're fair skinned, I'll say, my son is fair skinned, he's not relating to the other kids that are possibly brown skinned, because at the time we were living in Florida. So he started to identify himself with, you know, whiter Cuban. And I had to say, honey, you Black, you are very much Black. So that prompted me to write this book and just say, like, you know what, Donald, no matter what we look like on the outside, we all have the same nose, mouth, we all have the same things going. And I didn't think that, like, all those years ago, this would be such a big factor even now with all the Black Lives Matter movement that is going on and people are trying to rip us apart. We are all one race, and that's the human race. And it's just so profound in this moment right now. So that's kind of how I started it.
So it started as like an ode or a gift to your son so that he could kind of, you know, build his confidence, see his identity.
Absolutely.
And now it's blossomed into.
It has completely blossomed. And so 4 books, coloring books, and then I have them now in 3 different languages as well. So it's completely blossomed.
Wow. Overall, why is entrepreneurship and philanthropy so important to you?
You know, I never wanted to be that person that just relied on one income as my source of income. And before I started having all my babies, I really was a go-getter. You know, I have that hustle mentality. So after having children, or even kind of during having children, because I, you know, did some things along the way, it just never left me. And I felt like as I climbed the ladder, I always needed to come back down and give to the community. I'll briefly discuss, you know, I had a baby store at one point. And even with that, I donated my entire store to the city of Inglewood, California, where I'm from. You know, so I gave these people opportunities to come get Orphan Baby, which are like $1,000 strollers, Stokey, which are like $300 high chairs. I mean, Stella McCartney clothing, like all this good stuff. They were able to come and get it for $10 or just at a really cheap price. Like I didn't sell anything over $20, and that's including strollers.
$20 strollers, high-end strollers.
High-end strollers. And then on top of that, I developed a cheer camp where once a year we got together and next to the football camps, I taught them cheers, gymnastics, and really tried to build up their confidence. So at the end of the cheer, they came and did it in front of their parents and stuff like that, just to promote, like, you know, self-awareness, confidence, and growth. Because I feel like sometimes when men do football camps or basketball camps, what happens? They forget about the girls. The girls are usually sitting in the stands. They're watching, you know, their brother, you know, go and be with all these great athletes, but they don't necessarily get those opportunities. So in the future, I'm developing the Joy Jolie project with my team so that we can continue to do this type of service to, you know, the inner city for sure.
Well, I love that no matter what you create, you have someone else in mind. You know,
oh yeah,
that's the brilliant, selfless part of you that just exudes through you. So I
you.
Very best in everything that you're doing. Keep striving, keep creating.
I'm trying.
May you get everything you give out in the world back tenfold.
Yeah.
Well, if anyone's interested in visiting you online, checking out your books or your products, what's the best way to connect with you?
You can right now reach me on Instagram at Dominique _, or you can go to my website, which will show you everything that I'm doing at DominiqueDaigle.com.
Thank you so much for being on the show today. And
thanks for having me.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.